We're here, okay, we're back, and we've got the 8 ways that I could have saved money in my business last year. I hope that you watch this and take it so you can save this year. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Sarah here, and I have a really insightful list of things that I spent money on last year and how I wish I would have done that differently so I could have saved some money and really applied it to things that suit me and my business today and moving forward in 2023. I would highly recommend that you watch this video all the way through and take notes, okay? Take them notes, honey, because you're gonna need them. If you are a returning member, hopefully subscriber, thank you so much, first of all. But second, I'm not going to cover any of the costs associated with rebranding. Obviously, I'm not going to go into that because I have several videos about rebranding. So if you want to see how expensive that was, you can go check those out. I don't want to dwell on it here because I assume that most of you are returning subscribers. And if you're not, what are you waiting for, honey? Subscribe to the channel, okay? Okay. Here they are in no particular order. The first thing that really would have helped me save money in my first year of my handmade business is really paying attention to how much that $5 and $5 and $5 and $5 adds up. And what I mean by that is at the beginning, it's very easy, which I've definitely talked about before. It's so easy to get caught up in, oh, that fragrance oil is only $8 and shipping's only $3. Yeah, 10 bucks, I've got a new fragrance. Perfect, this would be great. Or going to a website that offers free shipping if you spend $25. I mean, that's awesome. I can figure out what to do with $25, and then I don't have to pay for the shipping, which in our line of business, it does get quite expensive because a lot of the things that we order are quite heavy. So again, just paying attention to the fact that all of those $5 and $25 here and $7 here and $3 there, it really does add up. And the second way I could have saved money in my business, and I'm laughing because it's so ridiculously easy, but I just cannot help myself. I just cannot help myself. My second way that I could have saved a lot of money was either making one product and offering multiple designs or fragrances, or making a couple of products but only offering one design or fragrance. I mean, if you really think about it, that's all you need. You don't need to have 4 different soaps and 4 different scrubs and 4 different bath soaks and 5 different bath bombs and all of those things. If you really, and actually it's probably better to not have those things, right? If you really think about it, a great way to save money here would be to just develop one line of products based around one fragrance. That would be what I would do if I was going to do it all again. I wouldn't even go for one product with multiple things, I don't think. I think what I would do is just get one good solid fragrance and take it across my entire line. It just makes so much more sense. And after just really reflecting on what I did and where I wish I would have done things differently, that has become very apparent. I should have absolutely done that sooner. Number 3, this one is also a challenging one, and it is to keep your packaging as simple as possible and reuse everything that you possibly can. Depending on where you're ordering things, they've got packing peanuts in them, they've got the little styrofoam peanuts in them, they've got wrapped in honeycomb wrap, or they've got craft paper wrap, or whatever the packaging material is. As much as I hate to say don't be so branded, in the beginning you need to be like reusing as much as you can so you can really sustain the business moving forward. It will help you save money that you can then put towards other parts of your business. You really don't need to go and purchase separate packaging materials. Just reuse unless you have to, right? Obviously. I mean, even to go as far as boxes, save those boxes in case you decide to go into wholesale, because you will eventually need a box that size. Or go to the post office and get some of the free boxes. You will have to pay a little bit more in shipping, but I mean, you have to decide which one of those is right for your business. Calculate it for yourself. See how much a set of boxes in the size that you need would be, and then compare that to whatever the flat rate size. I think it's like, $7 for a medium flat rate, or is it 13? I can't remember, whatever it is, the price is going up anyway. So compare those two prices and see which makes more financial sense for you. This one is something that I still struggle with, but I have finally come to the conclusion that it's not helping me, it is hurting me. I could have saved so much money if I just got one container and put everything in it. This doesn't really apply to soaps. Actually, it doesn't apply to soaps at all. But what it does apply to is everything that I bottle and jar. I was so worried about having a 9 ounce and a 6 ounce and a travel size and an 8 ounce and then a 4 ounce. And I was so worried about having all of these different types of packaging or containers, I guess, or vessels, I guess would be a better way to put it. I was so worried about having all of these different vessel offerings to make my catalog look more well-rounded, but what it really did was back me into a corner because I need 30 jars for this wholesale order and I only have 10 of that size, but I have 20 of the other size, and now I have to go order 20 more, and then instead of having sold all 30 of those jars to get a new set of jars, I now have 30 and then have spent money out of my pocket to get those vessels that I needed to fulfill this order. So it's really, it is a juggling act, especially at the beginning, but what will make it so much easier is if you just pick one size and one vessel and really stick to it. Sell the death out of it. And then after 50 jars, if you're like, I really am not feeling this anymore, then get something else. There's no reason you can't change your mind on your vessel later, okay? But what you don't want is to be like me and stuck with all of these different ones because you weren't sure in the first place. Another way you can really save money is by placing one big order instead of multiple small orders. I feel like this goes along the same lines of spending $5, $5, and $5. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that because I think that they fall into the same category, but I do think that they speak to different things. So instead of placing, 5 different small orders, regardless of whether or not you get free shipping, try and consolidate everything you can as much as possible into one giant order. That way, if you're ordering from a place that doesn't offer free shipping, you can just pay that one-time fee and you can spread that cost across a couple of different products or ingredients versus, I've got 1 or 2 items that I need to split the shipping costs in and 1 or 2 items over here with another shipping cost. You'll end up saving money in the long run. So I wrote this one down, but now I'm not really sure if it makes sense. So I'm going to say it and then we're just going to take it from there, okay? I think at the beginning, which goes against the advice of plenty of people, I'm sure. I think at the beginning, the more you can do yourself or like DIY, the better off you will be. But I think that you have to do it thoughtfully and carefully. For example, I would not recommend going and finding the perfect labels and having them professionally printed by a label company. Unless you offer like one product and you can just buy in bulk one set of labels, which could probably be a good idea, but I think in the beginning, you really have to work through a couple of different styles of labels before you find the one that's perfect for you and your brand and your business. So I think that spending or, dropping all that money on a roll of 1,000 labels when you're not exactly sure or when you're just starting, I just don't think it's the best thing to do because I think it can cause you to waste a lot of money if you decide a little bit later that you don't like that design or you don't like that layout or whatever the case is. You may change your ingredients and then you've got all these labels with the wrong ingredients. At the beginning, I would recommend DIYing things like your product labels, things like your packaging. If you want to see a DIY packaging video, definitely let me know because I have quite a few things that I have DIY'd over my time. And I think that's a great idea. So let's plan for that. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you want to see a DIY packaging video that can help you save money when you're first getting started? Again, once you're seasoned, you'll know exactly what you're looking for. So it will be worth to buy that 1,000 roll or 1,000 count roll of labels. But in the beginning, there's so much back and forth. And maybe it's just me because I have more of like that squirrel-esque personality. But I find that I wasted a lot of money because I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted and where I was going. Take that how you will. Like I said, I'm not sure about this tip anymore, but I do stand by you should DIY things like your products labels until you really figure out what you plan to offer and get your best recipes and ingredients and, you know, that kind of thing. My next tip on saving money and what I wish I would have done to save money is to find platforms that are like free-ish before paying for my own website. And this has quite a few sides to the coin. For example, take Etsy. Etsy is like free-ish. You do have to pay for those individual listings, but you're not paying a monthly fee to host your products. So this might be good for those of you just starting out, especially if your product offering is really, really small. Another great thing that you can do is build up a platform on somewhere like Facebook. I don't know all the ins and outs of Facebook and Facebook groups and how they work. Okay, trust me, I don't have one. I'm not an expert on that. But what I would say is platforms like that have a lot of potential for early stage businesses because they get you free traffic and a free-ish, again-ish place to sell your products. So I would recommend looking into that before jumping into a $30 a month Shopify website. I love Shopify. I'm on Shopify. You can visit my website. The link is down in the description below. But it is expensive, and if you're pinching those pennies right at the beginning, like you should be, then that can really add a lot of cost to, and it's monthly, you know, that can really add a lot of unwanted costs or unmanageable costs to running your business each month. Another good idea, you could hop on FAIRE. I do have a link for that down below. That is a wholesale website, which is a whole nother world, honey. It's a whole nother world. If you want to see a video on all of the things that I've learned about wholesale, please let me know. That one might have multiple chapters within it because the wholesale world is just a beast. I mean, honestly, it's a whole nother beast. It's nothing. Anyway, if you want to see that, you can just let me know. But yes, if you're looking for a way that you could save money, I would recommend those free-ish platforms before jumping right into a retail store pricing like Shopify. And here is my final tip, and that is to test your products very thoughtfully. Obviously, we've been through this a million times. You need to test your products. There's no excuse for having a product and not testing it. I understand that from a monetary perspective, it may feel like you're wasting those ingredients or materials that you probably had to pay a pretty penny for, especially if you're right in the beginning, right? But you need to still test them. It's not an excuse to not test them. Right now, I'm testing my chapstick, and I don't really think you can see it, but anyway, you need to know the good and the bad and the ugly of your products, things that you like and the things that you don't. But there's a good and a bad way to do it. For example, if you're making cold processed soap, you can save that money in your testing of cold processed soap by making a small batch instead of a large batch of soap. That way, if you ruin it, like I've ruined 700 different types of soaps, or bars of soaps, I should say, that way it's not as big of a hit, right? So I would recommend getting a small, I use the, when I'm testing, I use the 4-inch silicone mold from Brambleberry. This isn't sponsored or anything, it's just the smallest mold that I have. I use that to test, and I am very, very glad that I have that because it makes 4 bars of soap. It's a very manageable size, and again, if I ruin a loaf, it stinks, but I'm not like devastated by it. I take it more as a learning experience than a waste of supplies, and I think that that's probably the only way you can swallow that cost of testing your products. But you have to test the products, like you just have to. And there it is. Those are the ways that I could have saved money. And tons of money probably in my first year of business that I hope you take along into 2023 when starting your own. If you have any questions, I am an open book. I'd love to answer them down in the comments below. I'll be back here next Sunday with a new video. I'm not quite sure what I'm posting next week. I have a couple videos recorded, but I'm not sure like the order that I'll post them in. So stick around, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week.